Welcome everyone again, and the Angels, Magic and Joy podcast. Here with me, of course, Kirsty Jandrel, and and we have our very special guest today, and she's gonna tell us a bit about herself in a minute. An author of 3 channel books, a YouTuber, an energy healer, and so much more. And we warmly welcome Patricia Kurczynska. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome,
ladies.
Welcome, everybody.
Patricia, we are delighted to have you here, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please, for those who might not be familiar with you and your work, can you say a few words about yourself? What do you do and what you're passionate about?
My work is connected with my passion. I think it's the best combination, the wonderful combination. And my intention was never to write a book, never. And a few years ago, I met a girl who is a life coach, and she was trained in a life coach years ago. And she said, "Oh, I have an idea. Let's meet up and do a vision board." So I was like, okay. So she got a cake, and we got at that time I used to work in media, so I had 3 newspapers, magazines, and for some reason, I don't know why, I put a picture of a book. So my intention at that time is to read a lot of books. And fast forward 2018, when we had a big snow during the 1st and 3rd of March, we actually were buried in snow. Even the airport was closed. And I remember I just got my first job, so I said, and I was waiting for my money, so I paid the rent. And when I paid the rent, I had 0 money on my account, absolutely 0, and no food in the fridge, no money in my wallet, nothing. And I asked angels and my guides, please do something. So never been in this situation. I really need help. So I woke up on the next day and had a really bad night, because sometimes you go really really kind of a low when you go to a dark night of your soul as well, because you kind of worry about money, the usual thing. And when I asked my guide, I was so tired, and I just okay, I'm just gonna let go. So the next day I woke up and I saw a notebook. I was like, okay, the first thing that popped into my head was to write down the stuff that I received during a healing session, which I did during that time. But something else started really pouring down. And myrrh, and then it was frankincense, and it was lime. And that time I was running essential classes, and I was and I'm writing something totally different. And I was just where is it from? And anyway, I said, I really spent 3 days writing, really 3 days. So within 3 days, I actually channeled 66 essential oils, 44 single, 22. Now look at the numbers, 22 blends. So I show you the book. That's this book. And then at that time I had a friend called Susanna. So I think on the 2nd day or 3rd day, I sent her a message I don't know what is going through me, what I'm pouring down, but I'm writing about essential oils. I was how many do you have? I was we have 66 descriptions. I was no way, just send me a few. I can't believe it. No way. So I sent her a few. It's and then she read, it's oh my God, this is so beautiful. It's you have to publish, but the whole idea just publishing a book, no way, that was just too much for me. So anyway, I left it. But when you have an idea, someone plant an idea and then just leave it in tiny little pieces. So I was thinking about it, maybe it's a good idea. So by the time I found a publisher, I found someone to design the cover page. You just basically ask your friends who has published a book, who has done this. So I think it passed 8 or 9 months, and by beginning of December 2018, that book was published. And in June, so when I finished writing those 3 books, lovely, those books anyway, I went to a park. It was June and I didn't have any intention. I just wanted to rest. And then I fall asleep on a tree. And then I fall asleep on the tree and I could feel it was a birch tree. It was my local park. And then I could actually feel that the root of the trees was going inside of me. And I still don't remember it was 1 hour or 5 minutes or 20 minutes. So I don't remember. But the only thing that I can tell you is the tree actually showed me a history of its existence. And I when I woke up, it's like, okay, I don't have my phone with me. I only have my house keys. And it's like, I'm gonna go home. And I kind of, when I woke up, it's like, I know I have to go home. But when I look at the trees, I haven't seen trees. I only saw words or pictures. So, so I started writing the second book, a book about trees. Now I don't have it with me, but it's very, the second book is much more complex. It's about, whenever we have deep questions about the soul, existence of the universe, this everything, process of manifestation, it's in that book, described and told by trees. Now we have to think that trees have been here for billions of years, much older than we are. And the trees have like a story to tell. But there are some people on earth that have this kind of a know how to read those stories, and they actually passing to people, basically, for them to understand. And now we live in an age of Aquarius, which is like age of knowledge and age of light, I call it as well. So it's a great time to be alive because of the massive knowledge we are about to actually see and understand. So 2 books. And then COVID came. We all know that. It wasn't a great time. And I lost my job. So I decided to open like a YouTube like channel. So, and as a teaching, like telling people and teach them how to communicate with trees, how to do meditation with trees, about essential oils. And it's been like 4 years now. and then I got invitation from different YouTube channels, and so it's just really expanded a lot. But yeah, and I'm still getting a lot of messages still. So book number 4 is on the way at the moment. So give a few months. Yeah.
It's pure magic, Patricia. Thank you.
It is a pure magic, and to be honest with you, I graduated in 1997 horticulture school, and believe me or not, I hated that school. I hated it. It's like I would never ever go. I was like maybe 19 or 20 that time, and I said to myself, I'll never ever go gardening again. Nothing to do with trees, nothing to do with plants. But I think my soul had a difference. Like, hell no, no way, you're going back here. You're going back. So my soul made it like, no longer joke on me.
Oh, that's beautiful. So yeah, you were clearly drawn initially, and then maybe it was just not the right way for you to communicate with the
It's a
plant
different
world in horticultural college.
Yes, I actually hate it. Like, because when you go to school, like, because it was a technical high school, and I never loved, like, because when you go to school and teachers like teach you about history or like geography or whatever subject and you just like forced to learn those subjects or biology, and you don't have a passion, it just will not work out. But if something years later comes out of passion and it's a soul calling, and you have a different perspective, totally different perspective, and everything changes. And now I see like even plants, trees, essentials like as a part of us, and we are the part of the universe. Like I see like a bigger picture, and it's much nicer, and it's like a flow, and it's much more understanding,
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Can I just ask you, the third book, I'm really curious, what was the third book about, Patricia?
This book is about flowers. Now that was
Oh,
flowers, so three. I'll tell you about the fourth, but that's in a minute.
and the fourth,
So
yes.
the third book is about flowers. So I remember one I had a therapy done. I don't remember what I had done, but I was really, really tired, and I got home and I was in my bed, and it's like I'm not going to go into my pajamas because it's like around 6-7 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's a bit too early. So what I did, put my headphones and my phone, and I just like, okay, I'm just gonna chill out, and that's it. What I'm gonna do. Now, I have this bad habit of having a lot of notebooks around my bed, and I fall asleep with my notebooks, and I find like pens like under my elbow every night, right? That's my bad habit. And I remember on that day, it was maybe like November or something, and I am just listening to the music about something, and I have this voice like, "Go on, start writing," and I was like, "Okay." Okay, so then I wrote a book about flowers. So flowers are I think I'm just gonna grab the book. That's the flower. So that's the Polish version of this. Flowers, the beauty of earth. I don't have the English. I think I sold all of them. So it has 71 descriptions of flowers. So flowers are much higher consciousness. The trees are like really, really deep, and it's like someone, if you talk to a tree, you have this feeling that you talk to someone who's very old and very smart, and like a really deep knowledge for millions of years. Like for example, myrrh tree, like myrrh essential oil. We all know that. Myrrh chose Earth to be on Earth because it wanted to give us so much healing. And so when you look at the history of myrrh, so when people start bringing myrrh from Oman or frankincense from Oman through Egypt to Europe, what myrrh did and frankincense was just to create language, to create culture and economy and exchange. So they exchange myrrh for silver, for gold, for spices, for ebony, for silk, name it, horses, name it. And myrrh was at the beginning of Christianity, when it came to Europe, was actually banned by the church because it was considered as pagan. It was bad, and the only thing that saved was that it was used by the three kings to brought myrrh and frankincense to baby Jesus, but it was considered unholy and pagan. So that was the beginning of medieval times. But when you look, even when you go, there's a website called PubMed, PUBMED. How much myrrh can help us, like health-wise. It's widely known in Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine, and in so many properties, and the same in frankincense. So they have thousands and thousands of prescriptions for medical use, cosmetic use, and so on. So it's as our lifesaver, basically our lifesaver. So that's the story of myrrh and frankincense. Okay, let's go back to the third book. Third book is very deep. It's about flowers. Flowers are the little, I would say, this little sparks from the universe. They're all connected. All plants are connected to the wisdom of the earth and consciousness of the earth with the wisdom of the universe. There's some of the plants, I think it's daisy, that absorbs the energy of the earth, of the universe, and transforms inside like a spiral and bring down to earth. So it's like a balance. So plants are just balanced between earth and the universe. So So it's actually really beautiful. It's like a symphony. When you have a garden bed, a flower bed at home, or even when you go to a park, it's actually there's like music, like devices that you can read the frequency of the plants. And what I see, like many people see as well, like when plants grow next to each other, they create like a symphony, like a fifth symphony of Mozart or something like that. And there's some device they can hear. I think it's really fascinating. It's like a totally different world of understanding. And I remember when I wrote the third book, I couldn't understand what I was, because I don't have any degree in physics or cosmology or science. I don't have this, but everything is in book, and it was really high level, and I have to read a couple of times to get it. So I'm still looking for someone who can translate the book to me, but because I don't understand it. So so this is quite fun. Fourth book is quite fun. It's going to be this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. And the fourth book, it's because I think it was 2011 when I started receiving first channeled messages. It was not my intention, nothing. I just like, or whatever. I remember like I was sitting on an armchair, I was watching a movie, and it was a really bad day. I think it was like autumn, and it was getting really cold. So I had this one of the cozy nights, just wrapped yourself in a blanket, watch a nice movie, and gone here. And I just hear like kind of a voice, and then just like, okay, start writing because I have something important to say. So it's like, okay, whatever, like if it's just be rubbish, like I'm just gonna write it down. And beautiful stuff, messages are coming down. I think it was like 32 lessons for us to understand. There were lessons: what is love, what is hate, what is the soul, what is creativity. And it's really very plain, beautiful language for us to understand. And that actually stopped. So I managed to write everything down. And the second part of the book is about Inanna, because some people like, who is that person? Didn't expect that to meet her, but Inanna came to me when I went to Kate's organized Christmas market. One of the Kates said like, okay, I have to meet a witch, you have to meet. So I was like, I need to go to bathroom. No, you're not going to bathroom, you have to meet this girl. So she actually dragged me. So like, oh my God, you have to meet this witch. So one girl at the market, Dagmara, had perfumes, like a roll-on perfumes, small sizes, and I smelled a few perfumes. So they're really lovely. And one of the bottles was called Inanna, and I never heard this name. So like, who is that? And Dagmara said, Ishtar. That's her other name. So I was like, okay, and it was like a gold flakes inside, really beautiful bottle. And I was like, okay, so I just kind of left it. It's Christmas, you think about something else, you just want to go out, have a few drinks with your friends, and kind of a bit light. So I got home around 6-7 o'clock, and I'm cooking my dinner, and then I kind of feel that it was so weird. It was so like a ghost was passing me by, and I'm just like, okay, I think I have a ghost in this place or something like that. Really, really weird. But then I just put my foot on the table, and it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on there, but just like, let me know who is that. Because sometimes when you're kind of afraid, it's better to like ask questions if whatever came. So I could swear that someone was sitting opposite me, and a beautiful woman, beautiful long hair, like exotic look, like olive skin, and it's like, okay, I have no idea who you are, but what do you want? And she said it was like, her name is Inanna. It's like she never liked, and so like she said the other name that they gave me was Ishtar. So, and she said she never liked the name because she was a very beautiful woman, very wise woman, like Athena. in Kansas City, very tall, very proud, very beautiful, very confident. And she said she was misunderstood by so many people, because she was, they actually put a name, describe her as the goddess of war, but she was never a goddess of war. She was the goddess of creativity, of love and healing, and people pray for her. So she told me, like, in ancient times, when people have questions, she was, when I read later on, she was the first goddess, and she was the time when 5,000 years ago, where there was a rise of masculine energy. So for 5,000 years, men were empowered, but there was a really negative side of masculine energy. It was more power, destructions, war, this kind of stuff. And she said she never liked that, because those men were using, they were actually didn't like her, because she was very beautiful, very confident. And she said that there were prophets came over to her and asked, like Jesus and Buddha and many other, and asked her, they were asking her for knowledge. But she said she didn't give them any knowledge, and asked her why. And she said, because they were used against me and against all women in the world for centuries. And it's like, because they were abused the power of women, and it's like, I'm the goddess of life, of love and healing, but if I give them my knowledge and the back of knowledge, they will use it against all women. And it's like, all women life, and all life is very sacred. Doesn't matter, it's a plant, it's an animal, everything is sacred, but they will use it against me and against all women. And she said, that's why I give them a grain of knowledge, but I never give them full knowledge. So I wrote everything down, and she said, when she came down to earth, she saw that first people, because there were life expectancy was very short, they lived like 20-30 years, and in every household they had these little figures made of clay. And she said that they were putting in the altar and asking her for healing, asking her for, like, people got sick or died or something like that. And she said they were in every prayer. She was in every prayer, every thought. And she came down before someone died. She came down from the sky and was with the loved one who passed away. So it was a really beautiful story, and she was amazing energy. And so she wrote me, like, I wrote like 6-7 pages, maybe more, I don't remember now. But then she kind of disappeared. So I think she fulfilled her purpose and she left. No. So that was the story of Inanna. So after that, and when she told everything, she disappeared. So like, okay, just like, maybe that was meant to be, and that's it, move on, you know. But because Kate asked me about soul, and
I'm just so stunned with it. I need some time to digest, Patricia, because all of the stories.
It's too much, and it's too much, and
it's not too much. It's actually amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. I don't know. Yes. Like, I feel like such an energy flowing as you speak. It's such an amazing energy flowing through. I'm just absolutely blown away.
And I think because we're in the age that, you know, like, there's a lot of movies. What Ishtar did or Inanna did. That she was like a really bad goddess, or she started the wars or something. What I could feel from her, that she was a very kind, wonderful woman, really wise, and she came, like, in my opinion, from a different reality. That's my opinion. And 5,000 or 6,000 years ago, maybe more, there was a different consciousness. People thought in a different way, and we can understand her teaching now, just like Mary Magdalene's teaching. We can understand now, not 2,000 years ago, where there was really times of prosecutions and everything. So, and we have a different perspective. I think we get a bit wiser now. Humanity got a bit wiser, I think, and a lot of people are asking questions. But I think what we have in maybe in the age of Aquarius. I don't like the word New Age because it's just bad for me. But the age of Aquarius now, there's a lot of rise in feminine energy and in ancient wisdom, really, really ancient wisdom, and the stuff that was forgotten, disappeared, and I think it's more will come on surface now, and you get like a lot of insights, a lot of connections now. I think it's really, really beautiful age, I think.
So
But you want
gorgeous.
to know? Yeah. I think Kate, before we started, Kate sent me a picture. What's the human soul? Is it one of the questions that you asked me before what is
we
human
were
soul?
wondering because you're an absolute amazing channel, a healer. We were wondering, especially the topic about regarding our past lives.
Okay.
And we were wondering, how it can influence our lives now. What's your view on that? What's your experience on that?
It's a big topic.
I know it's a big one. I know it's a big one. I hope we can have a whole series with you, Patricia.
It's a very big one because I do energy healing on people, and I'll give you like 2 examples. One from my life, and I think it's a big one. Few years ago, I don't remember which year it was. Few years ago, I think it was the beginning of summer, I think. I was sleeping in bed at night, and I remember I moved in a bad way, and I don't know how. And the left side of my body was paralyzed completely. So basically, I had near my bed, was bathroom. It took me 2 hours to go to the bathroom. This is how bad it was. It was just really, really bad. A whole empty cup was heavy for me. I have problems with breathing. I have headache. I went to see a massage therapist. It's like, I'm not touching you. You go and see a doctor and ask your doctor to send you to hospital. That's what I can do. And I have problems with breathing, sleeping, sitting down, standing, walking, everything. It was really, really bad. Thank God it was summer, and but I was just completely floored, and I actually had to change everything, my bed, everything for 4 months. So anyway, I asked my guides to give me, my doctor didn't want to send me to hospitals because he said I'm exaggerating. He gave me like tablets just to like painkillers. It's like, you'll be fine. So like, I think there's something wrong with my spine, with my nerves. But it was really good. I was so angry, and I left my GP and I was crying. I was like, I cannot believe what he did. Cannot believe. So anyway, I got home, and I was actually lying in bed for 2 months. I don't remember going out. It was painful all the time. And I remember after like second or third month, I asked my guides every single day, show me what the information that is in my body. Why am I suffering? Why is it so painful? Why am I paralyzed? Show me, because I really need to see it. So asking my guides, and I was just like, no answer for 2 months, no answer for 3 months. It's like, this is a joke. This is a really, really joke. It's summer. I want to do something. I'm going to go swimming, and I cannot do anything. And I remember on the 3rd month, it was end of summer at that time. I don't know. I think I did someone asked me to do healing session. I don't know how am I going to do healing session. No chance, but I did my best. Okay, I did my best, and I went to a holistic center, and a girl actually asked for emergency for healing. It's like, okay, fine, I do it, and didn't want to, but I just do it. In the middle of the healing session, because normally I see past lives of clients and everything. This time I only saw my past life. And I saw myself as a young man. I was in my 30s or something, and it was in medieval times. And that guy said something, maybe, I don't know, and it was against people like beliefs or something. So what they did to him, they put him in a cage and hanged the cage very, very high up, and they called him names, throwing food on him and empty bottles, really humiliating him. There was really, really, and I saw the sadness, the grief, the rejection, the horrible. Like really, I really want to cry. I think I was crying when I saw this picture. And then someone, I don't know who did that, but it was maybe one of the guards. I don't know. He took a chain and put really around my back. Just really pull it, and this is how I died. And the pain was so massive that I thought I'm gonna die in that second. Like in a holistic center doing healing session, I have to stop. It's like, okay, I don't know. I was in like really big shock, and it's like, oh my God, it's like this is my past life memory. This is my cell memory that was just awakened. And I went home. I took a bath. I went home, and I'm just lying in bed, and I just saw this past life again, and it's like, okay, and there's no healing at that one. I don't remember how long I asked for healing, but I just want to like let go and do a lot of clearing around it and everything. Much to my surprise, a week later the pain was gone. No medication needed, nothing. I never took any medication like my doctor told me. So that's my experience. Really, really deep experience. Another one that I can tell you, I had a girl years ago who had a problem with speaking up the voice, and a lot of people have this problem. And she asked me, like, I have this squeaky voice, I don't know why I have this, and my mom sent me to so many doctors, and she was my age, and it's like, how long did they have this? I was like, I don't remember since I was born, and I don't recall how it happened. I just have this. I was like, okay. So she came to my healing session. That was maybe 2011 or something. And it's like, okay, let's see what your throat would tell me. And maybe there's a trapped memory or something. And she was very open to this. And it's like, okay, give it a try. Then I saw that she was standing on a platform waiting for a train, but many other people. And there was the World War II, and they throw her as a little girl. They throw her in a train. Now, because she was very tiny, and they were all like maybe 5 or 6, and there were many other people around. So, and they squeezed many people go like in this train. And then she was in the middle, very terrified to death, and what happened? They suffocate her. And this is how she died. And what they did with her body, after maybe 2 or 3 hours, they noticed that she's dead, and they threw her out of the window. So, and this is how she died. And when I told her what happened, she started crying. She started crying because it was very emotional for me, very emotional for her. And then I haven't seen her for this girl actually disappeared. It was like a really good friend of mine. She disappeared. 2 months later, I got a message, and I'm just hearing like, people leave a message on the phone. I was like, I don't think that's her. This must be someone else. Her voice has completely changed. And then you see, when we go, like, and then start investigating, like, kind of reading about this, our cells remember everything. DNA remembers everything. We can go back thousands of years ago. Basically, in theory, we can go to the beginning of mankind. This is how much information we have in our DNA, and trace back the trauma that is trapped, the fear, the stuff that our body holds, our soul holds. Whenever it's traumatic experience in previous life, what happened. So the soul didn't finish the business, and it didn't finish the business, and it just kind of it's just like you finish one chapter in a book, and it's kind of still going, but you know there is something else. So sometimes it happens that the body is actually, when you reach certain ages, for example, this guy that I told you about with the microtropic nerve in the back, he died in the same age when I was at that time. I was actually maybe 35 at that time. So he died. And your body actually, the memory awakens, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, like sometimes it's just having these diseases, or we have like problems with anything, but like sometimes with legs, sometimes with arms, and we don't know, like, why am I having this? Why am I having this? And then you kind of start, your body knows everything. Your body can lie to you. It's just, the best thing is just to go inside the body and just see where is the information, the stored information that need to be seen, feel, heard. That, and then when you open it and you just relive it again, then you realize then the body can heal itself. Get me? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's I'm sitting here just with complete chills, Patricia, from the time you started talking to just now. There's so much thank you. And
But it's the thing is that sometimes what I notice, our body is very, very smart. Our body knows all the questions, the answers. It just, our job is to listen to the body. Body is very intelligent. It cannot lie to you. It will always tell you the truth. Kinesiology is about, kinesiology is about yes or no. And when it's not sure, it means no. But this the same actually aspect. But I go a little bit deeper because I always been fascinated about past lives. How come some people remember? How come some people don't remember? Like I remember many of my past lives, but that gives me an access that can direct my soul. Or if I like ancient Egypt, and I have a good lives over there, I can access in theory, but it's also in practice, to that knowledge and access. It'd be much easier for me to learn many aspects of ancient Egypt, for example. Or some people are drawn to like Atlantis because they used to live there. Or some people who are drawn to healing with crystals or something else, new technology. I noticed the people who are interested in crystals and IT, especially IT, like cell phones, computers, iPads, those people lived in Atlantis. They were creating incredible machines. And I have this memory, but I don't know what to do with that memory. And it's just, I think kids nowadays can actually do so much on their phone because they used to live in Atlantis and they know what to do. Like 2 days ago, I had a girl for healing session, and I asked her, she asked me, I don't know what to do, but I like crystals, but I don't know, not sure, but maybe not sure. Like, can you like give me a hint? I was like, okay. So, and it turns out she was a high priestess in Lemuria. And Lemuria had a massive knowledge. And it's like, I can open you to this knowledge, but it's up to you if you accept it. Because I gave you like 3 or 4 different options. And if you know what to do, but you have to trust your soul. You have to trust your body, and soul will guide you. Soul loves learning new things, loves it. But soul will give you also the information, because it's like an unlimited library full of information. But the soul will give you direction, and sometimes you may actually wake up and it's like, oh my God, I know what to do, because you get the messages from the soul. It's about trusting your soul, trusting your body, and leaving this off. The ego, yeah.
Thank you, Patricia. And I love that listening to you and right from your beautiful the information that was coming through from your first book right up until that healing session that you gave yesterday. There seems to me this beautiful continuum of listening and being open to receive those messages from nature, that oneness, that unity, and also, as you say, from from the higher self, from the soul, and then that will guide you. So thinking about, I know that you are also obviously you're a channel of many things, of many spirits, obviously planets as well, plants, the natural world. You're a natural channel, which is so beautiful, and you often share these on your YouTube. So has there been, and this is a question because I'm sure you've got loads, but has there been one specific communication that you've received either from the natural world or from the planets, or maybe souls, ascended masters? You talked of Anana, and is there one communication that you've had that's just absolutely changed your life?
I have one.
Yeah. Thank
I
you. We'd love to hear.
I love dancing. I hate going to gym, but I love dancing. That's me, okay? And I remember like one of my friends, she did shamanic dance. So basically you dance like African drumming, but you're blindfolded. So you're not like dancing with all the people, just trying to focus on yourself, what's going on within you, just like a kind of a meditation and dancing something. Okay, so we have this music on, and I'm just like, okay, cool, this is really, really great. So I'm in my little world, and all of a sudden I have this feeling that I'm swimming in the water, like a big ocean, and it's like a dolphin swim around me, like above, and whales swim. I was like, oh, that's really cool, isn't it? Now you don't take anything, you don't take any cacao or anything like that, so just water, and that's it. So I was fully aware what's going on. And anyway, I'm in this water, and it's like light coming through, and I saw this singing, and it was like really beautiful. But I get this feeling there was like the crying, the whales and dolphins crying, and it's like, okay, what's going on there? And I saw columns, huge columns, buildings falling into the ocean. And I kind of knew that this is the fall of Atlantis. This is the end of Atlantis, and that I'm still in this water, and I'm just observing everything. And what happened at the end? Now, there was not in the book. The dance event. Now, this is the crazy part. Okay, the dance event happened between November and December last year. Do you know what happened? 2 days ago, I was listening to Bashar. You know Bashar, the guy who channels a lot of things. He confirmed the same, what I saw a few months ago. He said that the fall of Atlantis was November, December. Okay, the same date. And anyway, I'm on the ground, and what happened then? The last buildings, or the temples, that falling down, you can actually see them falling down. The frequencies that Atlantis created through the thousands of years were going down as well, and they were going through all the dolphins, through all the whales, and they remembered that frequency in their DNA. Okay, and they passed down that frequency. Dolphins and whales, they speak different language, but when they meet, they speak the third language. Okay, so they can communicate each other. And what they were, those dolphins and whales, they were actually crying because they knew that there will never be such a high advanced civilization on this planet that had amazing connection with animals and humans and earth. And there was this grief that was just so deep that actually wanted to rip my heart apart. And they were remembering through the song. There was no songs of whales and dolphins on that dance event. It was some African dance, so it's totally different. So anyway, those dolphins and whales, they received that last frequency, and they remember in the DNA, and it still passed in the DNA up to this day. And they have the sound frequency in the DNA about past civilization that they had the most beautiful connection with humans, earth, and animals. That was a couple thousand years ago. That was so beautiful, so wonderful, and much to my surprise, when I did the video on my YouTube channel, 4 ladies wrote down to me a few days later, and said they have very similar experience. And one of them said when she listened to my recording, she actually cried because it was so beautiful. So that was the latest channel experience that I had. So it was really, really beautiful.
Oh, I absolutely love that, Patricia. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love that you mentioned that because I think I know which lady you're talking about, the shamanic trance dance, and I had amazing visions during that, and that was actually my first time when I met and I've entered the unicorn kingdom. So that's so beautiful that you've mentioned that. That's brilliant. I'm actually looking forward for her to organize next one. I think she's in Puerto Rico now, so she won't be or somewhere.
Yeah, I think she went back in March, April. I think it's after maybe Easter or something.
Yeah.
And I'm actually I love those events because
brilliant. But that's again the magic of a person that can hold the space, and it's so simple. You're just dancing, and you're actually just blindfolded. You just dance, and there's just music.
Yes.
But you can have such a profound experiences and such a simplicity.
Oh yeah. Every time I go to see her, I have amazing experience.
Yeah, that's the thing about person holding space. I'm sure, Kirsty, you could share lots of your experiences because I know you're in a very similar field. And as you mentioned Egypt, I'm like, oh, perfectly. and with your work with Akashic Records, I'm sure you have loads of similar stories. I'm sure. I think we could do actually a series on that topic.
I think we should. I feel a 6 episode series coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that was
chapter 1 subject.
So this is our first episode of the series. But I would like to come back just one more thing before we conclude and before we finish, because of course the angels, and I'm kind of missing out mentioning angels. Would you like to share maybe an experience, maybe your view, maybe how you feel about angels, maybe something from your life, what comes to you right now regarding angels?
I can actually say one thing because I think I recorded it with you, but it was in Polish, so I'm gonna say it in English. And I think you love this. I know you love the story. It was a few years ago happened that we all kind of go like now and again through like a really dark night of the soul when it's like everything is bad and it's just like we don't want to leave the bed, and it's just like I don't want to do anything. I just like I want to be in my own little world and all this kind of stuff. And I went through this night and I really asked for help, like really from the bottom of my heart, really, really asked for help. And then I'm lying there, like it just kind of want to cry and everything, and just and there was I actually feel like one moment that someone is scratching my back, like really scratching with finger. Now there's this point in your back that it's very hard to reach, so just like, and I live on my own, which is really strange, but I could feel that someone is scratching my hand, like really, really like my back, and it's like, okay, that's really weird, okay. And I could hear a song, could hear a song playing in my head. It was playing in my head so long until I fall asleep. And on the next day, I felt like I woke up, but it was just kind of a peace, really, really peace. And it was just like, it was like, kind of just like when you wake up and it's like during the night, it's like thunder and storm, and then you wake up in the morning. It's a really beautiful day. It's kind of a day. Anyway, I was just looking for the song, and then just like, because it was going through my head, and I couldn't remember the title, but it was like, I remember I heard it somewhere. I can't remember what I heard it somewhere. So I went on YouTube, and it was like, I'm Your Angel with Celine Dion and R. Kelly. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm getting goosebumps now. I was like, I can't believe it. It's like, it was so weird. And that's one of the much nicest angelic experience I ever had in my life. So that's, one of the nicest I remember,
I love how, I don't know if you've noticed that, Kirsty, but every story of Patricia starts, I found a similarity here, that it's always either very depressing evening, or you're in big pain. And I love, because I would find it very often, let's say I would have profound visions or something when I'm very kind of high in the energy, then it flows. And I find it very interesting that you are able to channel in those very low moments. Don't you find that interesting? How would you find it, Kirsty? Because let's say I would be kind of course, that as well. If I suppose I go through something and that inspires me because it gives me lesson, but I need to kind of go through it first, and then I'm able. But you have that kind of ability that you're able to channel in like the worst moments of your life. You get the biggest gift, isn't it? I've noticed similarity.
Yeah,
because Kate, you have nothing to lose. When you have in a really dark moment in your life, you have nothing to lose. And the only thing that's just like God asked me, I'm not a religious person, but I'm not religious at all. I don't go to church. But in those moments when you really hit the floor and you're lying on the floor and you just think that's the end of the world, I think it's the best time, because in darkness is always this, you can see the light perfectly. And when everything it's fine, you don't see the light, but when you have the darkness, you really can see the light, because you have nothing to lose. It's like, okay, and just help me, and you surrender, totally surrender. And then you get the help.
Yeah, I think you, can I say as a Libra, and I think you're both right. I as you were speaking, Patricia, exactly that word was coming through for me, surrender. Because and I know, Kate, you've had similar experiences, haven't you, where you've just been in such desperation when the only thing to do is just surrender to divine help. And also being in that state where your frequency is so high that you can receive the messages, and then but it's I think both times it's that openness, isn't it? It's that openness when you're so low, because as you said, there's nowhere to go, but also that openness when you're in a high frequency state too. It's that sort of surrendering.
I think it's more when you're in a really low state, it's much more challenging, because you can only see the bad thoughts and the negative thoughts. You don't want to see the good stuff. You're asking for help, but you don't want to, you want to be in this little world and surrounded by dark clouds, and then you kind of because sometimes it's just like, oh, it's the only thing, that's the only help that you can ask. It's like, God help me, or angels help me, and the help will always come, because our soul is connected to Creator, our soul, and allow it. Now, a lot of people have this problem. I have this problem now again. Allow it to receive, allow it to open up, and just so the help can come. Don't block it. Help always will come.
That's so
I love that. Thank you so much, Patricia, for that.
Thank you, girls.
Oh, thank you. So before we close and book our second episode with you, What are the best ways for people to connect with you, Patricia? I mean, of course, we've got your YouTube channel and
Your YouTube channel, I think, is the best way to send me an email, and I read my emails when I can. So I usually answer like really quick. If I don't answer within 3 days, I might be in a spams because I'm getting like tons of emails now. So I usually answer within a day. If someone wants to share some information or ask questions, I think it's better my email. So I'll give you my email address. You can put on the description, and you can contact me. And I get email from all around the world. What I noticed that doesn't matter if someone lives in America or Japan or China or Philippines, name it. We all have the same issues. We all have the same problems. We always looking for solutions. We all searching for the connection with the divine that is within us. We all are the same. And some people are doing one way, and other people are doing the other way, which is okay. But we're all basically the same.
I love that. I love how you've just concluded everything. It's so true. Thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's just, I'm delighted. I feel like I'm going to listen to this a few times myself. So thank you so much for sharing all this. Is absolutely beautiful. And hopefully we're going to have another part of our series. Thank you so much, ladies. And thank you, Kirsty, as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Patricia. Thanks, Kate. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thank you so much, girls. Thank you. Thank you for having me.